Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I don't know where Peter is. I saw him in the comments, and I don't know why he's not joining. So he's here, but he's not here. Peter, where you
How's
at,
that,
man?
how's that different from when he's actually on the screen?
I know, right? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mikhail Kanika, or otherwise known as my name is Earl. Can't see the name tag though. Haven't figured out how to put that up yet. But I just want to say, Don Barnard giving a 250 rand super chat. Thank you so much. Wow, that's really amazing. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching. We all have our opinions, but we can all agree the trial is fascinating. I will agree with that. I will agree with that 100%. The Hamburglar has just joined, and I'm gonna put him up in just a moment. Hold on, give me a second, guys. 'Cause see, this is why, Peter, you're supposed to come in. Peter,
Oh, you
there he is.
fucking special needs child.
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear us? We go through this every time.
Oh boy, here are we doing this again? What the hell? Jesus.
Peter Sawanga in the house, ladies and gentlemen. It's
Goddamn
been a minute.
sound again.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
word!
been
Here
a
we go.
while.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna start swearing us in fake Spanish.
Give me a second. I do
If
know
he,
it's
if,
Spanish.
you can hear us then.
I can hear you, but it's not through my earphones. This is kind of crazy. Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can hear you.
Yeah, you are coming through that mic.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, we can
This
see
one.
you.
Oh, you bastard. All right, let me move the screen over here.
All right. So yeah, thanks so much, Don, for the super chat, and I agree with you 100%. It is a fascinating trial to watch. Unfortunately, I haven't watched the first 7 days. It's a long 7 days. It's a long thing. It's a long trial. Anyway, guys, how are you doing? It's late night chat, so I don't have any TikTok videos ready. So I thought that we can do it old school, where we just chat about anything and everything. We interact with the audience, of course. So, guys, if you have any questions that are watching, shoot away, no matter what it is, anything and everything. We cannot always answer, but we'll try.
Oh, I was waiting. Like, we can't always discuss. Wait, we have limits now. Hold on.
Well, Mikhail has no limit.
I know Mikhail always has something to say.
Yeah.
Right?
Amy asking when is she coming onto my show? I don't know, Amy. We need to get to chatting about it. Just send me a message on Telegram, and I will give you a date. I need to look at the calendar and see when my next available slot is. Dale saying cut of Malema was epic. Thank you. Thank you. I actually, the first hour, Dale, I was showing other clips of the trial, and pointing out to the idiocy of Malema, and he's actually a very dangerous man, to be honest.
Yeah, it's full of dangerous ideas.
Very much
Yeah,
so.
I've gotten into one or two little spats on Twitter about it. With obviously people that are more in line with his thinking the past couple of days. Apparently, I've been called delusional. On the other hand, I've been called worse. But
It's quite ironic though that you've been called delusional when the man that is actually the most delusional is sitting in court today, trying to defend, yeah, a song that is dangerous or has become dangerous.
yeah, I know it's. I know we like to chat about various things, but obviously I would like to keep the stream a bit happy, so I'm not going to go delve into too far of it. But if you look at the rhetoric itself and the way he mobilizes and the way they mobilize, it is very, very, very similar to, for example, the early 1930s, late 1920s, when the Nazi Party was starting to get its pull. You find a minority group which you blame for all the shortcomings. You make outlandish statements. Don't get me wrong. There's enough things that can be blamed with the apartheid government, but you take that extra step. You find extra things to blame apart from what are the obvious ones. It's easy to make a minority group a target because hence it's a minority group. It's a lot easier to single out. And just the way he goes about it, yes, his ideology might not be exactly the same, but a lot of the little puzzle pieces are the same. Um,
So you got to give him credit for like it's like really knowing his shit. I mean, if you anyone who knows like recent, yeah, he does. You got to give the guy pay the devil his due. He knows how to get Twitter riled
thing
up.
is,
Are
You know.
you an EFF supporter, Peter?
Oh, look. I admire any prowess. If you're good at what you do, you're good at what you do. Uh, like his playbook is straight out of sort of Marxist type. I don't know that early, very good at propaganda. Very good
Yeah.
at like
the thing is,
turning division and all of that. It's pretty cool.
the
In a
thing is,
shitty way.
the,
Shitty.
the problem is, and someone's mentioned in the comments is, to be charismatic and a great orator, you don't necessarily have to be intelligent. You just have to understand what the current zeitgeist is, and then use that. Um, and that's the terrifying thing is that um, he has openly admitted that he's never read Mein Kampf and is not at all really familiar from a historical point of view with Adolf Hitler's rise to power. Um, even though he's very much copying it. But he is a charismatic individual. He is a very, very good orator. It's a shame. On the other hand, it's a shame. Um, the fire and the fervor with which he does things could possibly have benefited this country
Yeah.
because he can formulate an argument from a political and a social point of view. He's not bad at formulating arguments. I'm not saying by no means I'm not saying the arguments are the right arguments, but the formulation of them
I
is
think
really good.
that's the kind of where I was getting at. Uh, but also, just to play a little bit of devil's advocate, do you reckon in this day and age, like, of course, the ideas are dangerous, and he's a sort of very charismatic guy, and do you reckon in this day and age, those kind of ideas are capable of carrying, of getting the sort of legs that it takes to actually really run,
Yes, I
run?
do think so. I
Yeah.
do think so. If you, I'm not going to go into American politics because it's a fucking hornet's nest of bullshit
All
and
right.
idiocy. But if you looked at the way people were swept up in the US when they stormed the Capitol, this is the 21st century. This was 2020. Or December 2020, January 2021. This was a year ago.
Yeah, Gen 6, right?
Yeah, and you had people in the 21st century. We have sent people to the moon, we have sent probes to Mars and rovers, and we are planning on colonizing there. But it's still possible to sweep people up in a rhetoric that is not necessarily correct or is not necessarily well researched, that is most likely very irrational. People will hold on to things. People in general, when they are desperate, they will hold on to something. Doesn't matter how thin the piece of paper is they hold on to, they will follow it. And the
I
sad
agree.
reality is the people that stormed the Capitol held on to the US economy was struggling because of COVID. People were, with regardless or in spite of your views with regards to vaccinations and masks and lockdowns and stuff, you had a group of people that were uncomfortable, that were stressed, that were unhappy, and they clinged to the first thing that either made sense to them at that moment, um, or it was a slither of hope and they were going to run with it. And the sad reality is, if you look at South Africa, unemployment is really high. Okay, yes, I very much agree with that. Equal opportunity does not equal equal outcome. It's not the same thing. I agree with people need to be given the equal opportunities, but the outcomes will not be equal because people have different skill sets and people put in different efforts with regards to the work they do. I believe that if Peter and I apply for a job and it's a 9 to 5, but I graft 2 to 3 hours extra than him, and I do well at what I do, putting in the extra time, then I should benefit from it because I put the extra effort. We both got the same opportunity. We both got the same position at the same company, but for the purpose of the example, I've grafted more. which means I need to reap the rewards of such. But in a country where we have unemployment, and that was worsened by the lockdown on top of lockdown on top of lockdown, our state institutions are failing. Um, the ANC government has promised occupation or employment, and it hasn't happened. They have promised an improving of infrastructure such as the electricity and the road systems in the municipalities, and they haven't delivered. And what Julius Malema has done is gone, look at the failings of the current government, and because we need a scapegoat, we'll add the minority into this mix of scapegoating.
Mm-hmm.
He's used a valid, painful point as the foundation. People will, and so to basically in a very long dog leg, Peter, I think 2022, whether it's the ideas of Malema or whether it was the ideas of the group of people that stormed the Capitol a year and a month ago, basically, yes, I still think that mob mentality, doesn't matter how easily we can attain information in the modern age, people will still form mobs and lose their minds if
Absolutely.
the right match is struck.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I agree there. Like,
All right. So, Richard saying, just look at what happened in July.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, I was thinking of that myself. Look, let's not go doom and gloom here, guys. I introduced you guys as comedians, and we're going like really heavy. So
I tried to keep it short, but I have not been on my soapbox on this channel in a very long time.
it has been a while. I've kind of missed that. I was just reminiscing about the old days. Just here.
Yeah, no, it's been a minute, man, since we've done something like this where we just sit and talk a lot of cock. So I'm not upset that I didn't get any TikTok videos. I wish that
That's so good, man.
Or
I've missed this. I'm gonna be honest. I've missed this. It's the TikTok videos are fun, but it does sometimes, just sometimes, feel a bit like sort of say what light, because we still sort of like react to a thing. Where it's sometimes nice to have an hour podcast where we just shoot the shit a bit. Talk about something, and every now and then we'll drop a punchline.
Yeah.
We hope to do so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just nice sometimes to have a chat.
You drop truths though sometimes, and sometimes it upsets people.
It's fine.
I mean, here's Richard. Richard, I feel like he knows you already, Mikal.
Right, he knows your MO. That when he knows exactly what you're about, man.
The sad reality is Joe has asked me to refrain from making Revo jokes. So
I didn't ask you to refrain. That's not true. I was just like, yo.
It's a weird week to have an odd week to have those jokes. Go ahead.
Yeah. It was Valentine's Day, or as we call it here, Anniversary Day.
You motherfucker.
It's Valentine's Day.
Do you even like Riva? Like, what's your problem?
No, it's just an easy punchline. It's just an easy punchline. On the other hand, Valentine's Day is Free Gun SA's best day to
That is true. Yeah.
campaign.
Hey, man.
It's campaign day.
I'd get behind that.
Free Gun SA. You would get behind Free Gun SA. Do you even know what they stand for?
Or don't they stand for South Africans' right to, own a
No.
weapon?
No, the opposite.
They stand for the opposite of that.
Oh, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, they got me. That's how they get you. That's how they fucking get you.
They're
They
the
wrap it up.
opposite.
It's nice. I wouldn't disagree with that. Of course, I'm with that.
What do you think they were giving free guns to people?
Freedom, the free and freedom. Oof, that would be kind of fucked up.
Dude, if they were giving away free firearms, I would be busy with them for a year. I have a wish list.
Oh my god! You can paying your TV license.
No, they advocate to disarm citizens. They advocate for even security to be disarmed. They advocate Remember when last year they wanted to take away the excuse of self-defense to own a firearm? They advocated for that as well. No, these
Isn't that in court right now? Is that being fought in court right now?
No.
Yeah, but it's the case is very thin because after the riots of July,
Yeah.
it sort of backfired a bit.
Yeah.
Because of civilians obviously protecting their own properties and businesses, and because the police are absolutely shite. On the other hand, that is
interesting.
Yeah, and
that's an
and,
insult,
and
that's an
yet
insult to shit, to be honest.
we still got on the topic of July riots.
Yeah. No, but it was a valid reason. If you look at how much more private securities had to deploy their own forces.
No, absolutely.
Ooh. Isn't that embarrassing? Is that
It
a
gets
little
better.
embarrassing?
It gets better. Any rank. Okay, this has been since 1994. It's changed a bit, but since 1994, any rank below sergeant needs to do a firearms competency every year. So if you work if you work for a private security company, you have to do your firearms competency every year. So you have to go to a shooting range and have to see if you can actually still not hit your neighbor.
I would hope so. Yeah, one would hope so.
Yes. The police obviously have the same because 9 out of 10 times a rank from sergeant and below will still be in the field. Anything above, you sit in the office and do fuck all. The only difference is instead of sitting in a bucking doing fuck all, you sit in the office and do fuck all. So we save on petrol. But the police standards have gotten so bad that South African police staff have to go to private security companies to do their firearms proficiency tests. Because
I heard about that.
because
Yeah.
the standards of the police are so low on their own shooting ranges.
My God. So on top of this, so it's free guns, free SA from guns. So what are their core reasonings? Like, what are
They
what are
they
arguments?
they
Apart
cite
from-
they cite stats, but they're one-sided stats. Like, yeah,
They make the argument, basically they make the argument, and in theory, if the argument is made well, it makes sense. If you look at the amount of crimes,
Yeah.
and obviously horrible crimes, that are done with firearms or at gunpoint, obviously murder, armed robbery, unfortunately, and a lot in your lower income areas and informal settlements, obviously a lot of rapes happened at gunpoint. So your most horrific crimes in this country is either done with a firearm or is done with the threat of a firearm. So Free Gun SA's argument is apparently these crimes would become less if we take away firearms.
Okay,
They
so-
missed the odd, but
Are these legal firearms they talking about? Is that
all firearms. They want to get
all
rid of all
firearms?
firearms. But it doesn't help because criminals do illegal things to start off with. They're not going to start.
it's just like
illegal shit.
yeah, it's,
So you
it's,
want to take
it's,
away the legal owner's firearms to protect him from the illegal firearms. I don't. I'm not getting.
but it's the same. It's the same logic that Bekele had the one day where he's talking about they were asking him about this whole self-defense thing, and he says the problem is that legal people that own firearms legally, the criminals are going into their houses, to the legal firearms houses, to steal their guns.
Wow,
That was his logic.
genius
But
right
no,
there.
it gets better.
Tell you what, the
It gets
problem
better.
is dressing up like a mob boss. It's
There's
kind
a
of
reason
scary.
why there's a reason why I call Becky Chele the Pratt in the Hat.
Oh shit!
The cat in the hat.
Oh
No,
my
the
god!
Pratt.
The Pratt in the hat.
No, but it gets even better. There was now an article at the end of last year. A lot of firearms, if you hand in a firearm at the police to get destroyed. So in the old days, what you would do is if you don't want to, let's say you've inherited a firearm and you're not inclined to, you don't want them in your house. That's fine. You get people
Like a
that
musket from your granddad or something like that. Hey Joe.
Or it's a case you've inherited a firearm, but because of the paperwork and the laws around regards with the firearms, the whole inheritance process sometimes is a bit daunting. You don't want to go through all the paperwork and hoops. So it's simple just to go, I know it's my dad's firearm, I am sad about it, it's just easier to take it to police and have it destroyed. Since 1994, obviously those firearms usually get destroyed. They get into criminal hands. So what used to happen is police would sell them. But the problem is, every now and then someone at the police does their job and looks at the dockets with regards to firearms and would notice there are things missing.
Yep.
And then there was a crackdown on firearms going missing from the various storage facilities and armories. It came out last year, October, November. Policemen got smart. They are now renting out firearms. Firearms. Yep.
Ooh-wee.
Firearms that have been submitted as evidence, firearms that have been given in to destroy, or if you purchase a firearm while you wait for your license, one of the options is you can give it to a police gunsmith or a police armory, and they will keep it until your license goes through.
So you now police force are becoming entrepreneurs. This is crazy.
Yeah, basically, it's
We need to
basically
revolutionize this
Uber
economy. We
guns.
got business
It's
people
Uber
everywhere.
guns. Police are running Uber guns.
Taxify K-47. Let's go.
So basically what happens is if you are like an abalone smuggler and you're doing a run from Hermanus to Cape Town and you need a gun for that run, you phone your contact at the police station, he smuggles out the gun, he charges you a fee, and they take deposit. No
What
joke.
app is this? I download this app.
You go smuggle abalone and shoot Bambi, and then on your way back you drop off the gun, you get your deposit back, and there's no proof that the firearm went missing out.
You don't
of
even
the
have to
armory
write
because
prints, nothing like that.
No.
because
That-
no one checks the
Good.
armory over the
I
weekend.
do.
Armories are checked during the week. No one checks armories over the weekend. So
Yeah, I think I think the app that Peter's looking for is called Glocker.
Oh,
Nice.
swipe left, swipe right, depending on which one you like.
Hey, wait, let's talk a bit about that. Have you? I did it, Mikhail. I watched Tinder Swindler.
Yeah, and
Oh, I gotta hear
It's
this.
insane. Have you
it's
watched it, Peter?
amazing.
I haven't seen this.
Oh man, they gave me so much crap last week because I didn't watch it. I hadn't watched it, so I watched it over the weekend. It's a 2-hour documentary,
Okay.
and it just gets worse the more you watch.
But it gets better. There's an article on, I think it's either News24, one of the affiliates. The Tinder Swindler. Esty and I, my wife and I were watching, and we were like, that guy would never pull that shit with a Burmese because he would get sent so hard. And there's an article recent in the past week on News24. He actually tried his shit with a Burmese, and she
Oh,
battered
did he?
him.
Oh,
Really?
sorry.
Oh, you must send me that article. That's amazing.
Oh,
Because he was in Cape Town. Yeah, I remember.
He was in Cape Town. He was
Yeah.
going for Burmese, and Burmese just went Niania.
The Swindler. I gotta see it. It's on my playlist. Okay,
He's like a huge like Catch Me If You Can esque kind of thing, con artist,
okay.
and only goes after women.
It was bound to happen.
Yeah, no. Basically, what he did is he privatized the Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Basically. Because he would pay for the side chick with the other side chick's money. So basically, how a Ponzi scheme works, but it's for sex.
Yeah.
So,
and stuff.
so you had to keep the thing going.
had-
Yeah.
You couldn't stop.
Yep.
He had to keep
Even
the
if he
poop
wanted
hands
to.
strong every day.
But
Oh,
the woman that brings him down, man,
that
we
much-
were applauding her. We were like, yeah, fucking do it.
That's why when I read the article, I'm like, now I know where Burmese get their gems.
Yeah, okay, well, we won't talk too much about it. Let Peter go.
Well, I gotta see
Do
it.
yourself a
We'll
favor,
catch
do
up.
yourself a favor,
Yeah.
watch. Over the
Do a
weekend,
review.
if you've got 2 hours, sit back. It's
I've got some time this weekend. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah.
dude, do yourself the favor. It's very few and far between that there's something more real life on Netflix that really gets my attention. And Esty and I love true crime. We really
Yeah,
do
yeah.
enjoy. But
Have
most
you-
people do is that morbid fascination with
Well-
the other side.
Have you seen Don't F with Cats?
Oh yeah.
We still need to watch it because obviously my wife and I are cat people. So she's just from the title, she's
Oh,
worried
man.
something happens to her.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you a warning. There, something does happen, and they don't show anything brutal,
Yeah,
but you can
that's great.
skip that little section.
It's worth a watch. Any animal lover living in the social
Yes.
media
It's,
time.
it's very much like Tinder swindler. Like you get involved and you're like rooting for the good people, and
Yeah,
it's
but the Tinder, if I have my facts correct, the people that did the documentary and the production team are the same people that did Don't Fuck with Cats.
oh really?
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
there was. I
they-
felt there was a bit of similarity there.
Great
It's the same
style.
team.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Okay, cool. You gotta watch. Don't Fuck with Cats.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I'll watch it on my own first because even though we both
Do
cat
that.
people, I'll
Yeah,
take the
do
risk first, and if it's not too terrible, then I'll.
Even if it is, like you'll be like, "SC, you have to watch this. Like you have to, like you just have
hold on
to."
a second. If it's too dark for Mikhail, then it's really too dark for.
I don't think so because they don't show detail. They
it's
they
simple.
blur.
Not in that sense. In the sense that this, what this guy is doing, just the idea of it.
Yeah.
I don't.
So
care what
that might
people
be a
do.
little too real.
I don't care what happens to people. I get worried if bad things happen to cats and cars.
Like I said, you can skip it. You can skip. You just like fast forward a little bit.
So,
Yeah,
but
use the terms.
Yeah. Man, that guy was insane as well. Like, I'm trying to think of what other, like you're right, Mikhail. Like, there's a very little documentaries on Netflix that really grip you in
No,
the way
other
that.
one- the other one we got into was what was it? Evil Genius.
Oh yes, that one was
That
good.
was
that?
really really good. It was basically it was a group of people that
Insane.
from basically like buttfuck Wyoming.
Yeah.
It's,
Wait,
it's,
what?
it's, it's,
Is that on
it's-
Google
it's-
Maps?
Yeah, it was these three. It was actually more than three people, but the
Is it the bank robbery, right?
Yeah, with the pizza guy with the bomb strapped around his neck.
Yeah.
Wait a
Crazy
was-
stuff.
The
Crazy
thing is,
stuff.
these are people that are burnt out. These are people that had potential, but they turned into hillbillies because they couldn't be bothered to actually make something of their lives, and they actually think
Ah.
their whole game plan is absolutely fucking genius. You're going, if these people actually used their brain skills, these are the type of people that would have been doctors or pilots.
Yeah, had they applied
Or
themselves
Fortune 500
in other ways.
CEOs,
Yeah,
maybe
they
ISCOM
had
managers.
the potential to be Fortune 500 people, but they chose to not have teeth and stay in buttfuck Wyoming. And then they thought of what was the most brilliant bloody armed robbery plans ever.
Yeah, Evil Genius. Add that to your playlist, and also add. You reminded me of another one, Making a Murderer. Oh man, that.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a dope one. Yeah, like.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a. It's what 4 parts, 3 parts, or something.
No, it's just 2 parts.
2 parts.
And then
Yeah.
there's the.
I think the third one's coming up.
And
I
then the
thought it was
missus
a
and I, we
follow-up.
also watched The Confessions Killer.
Oh, that's good.
Uh,
That's good.
That's
yeah.
also really.
Is that Ted Bundy or something?
No, it's basically the guy is definitely a serial killer. He had a few on his bed.
Oh yes, I know. Yes, I remember now.
There's so many police organizations that firstly no one was doing. Not one police organization was aware what the other one was doing.
Oh, it's the one. Shit.
And so then because people that are usually serial killers are very good at leading people and manipulating, but they're also on the same end very easy, very receptive
To be manipulated. Is
to
that?
be manipulated.
Okay.
So he went from possibly having killed 3 or 4 people, which is already 3 or 4 too many.
Yeah.
But then it ended up like he's got like 100 kills because every time they'll go, dude, do you remember being here? And then they'll show him photos of the crime scene, and then they're surprised when they take him to the crime scene and he finds everything because you showed him the fucking photos, dumbass.
Yeah, old school policing. Right? I remember that shit.
And also, what happened is a lot of the police organizations were using him as a scapegoat just to close cases.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There's another level of corruption that you don't want in from your police force, eh?
On the other hand, watching it as a South African, I'm going, it's a Tuesday.
No, I think
What happens down the road?
another good one to watch is the Ted Bundy tapes. I found those fascinating, and I think it's something to do with Next Door.
Next door.
This is also based on a true story where this lady or girl gets molested by her uncle, basically, but the family didn't know for like years. Crazy,
shit.
crazy stuff as well.
I struggle watching anything that has like that sexual.
It's not easy, but I mean,
No,
it's yo.
Mm-mm.
Oh, and there's documentaries with what's that little girl that went missing was, I don't know, she didn't go missing. Sorry, she was killed in the basement. They found her in the basement, and it's been a mystery of who the killer is.
Is that, was that the
it's-
one with the clown?
No. It
Oh, I'm
was
thinking of Son of Sam. 'Cause he had a
she was young, man. She was like 6 years old or 5 years old, and
face.
she was in beauty pageants a lot. And I forgot the name now. Flip. Maybe
Still
someone-
haven't found the guy. Did they find the guy? Well, just
a lot of people thought it was so listen to the thing, right? So they get home, okay? They put the little one to bed. Everyone goes, she had a brother and a sister, I think, or I know she had a brother. And everybody's gone to sleep. There's no noise, no disturbance, nothing, okay? Sound asleep. They wake up the next morning, they can't find her, okay? Ramsey, her last name was Ramsey, I think. And they can't find her. They search everywhere. She's missing. Don't know what the hell happened. Okay, no signs of forced entry either.
What is that? The one
And
where both parents are doctors.
I'm not sure about that. But anyway, they call the cops. Cops come. As the cops are coming, the father finds the daughter in the basement. She's been roped. She was in a blanket.
That's crazy.
And she was gone. Like, he tried to revive her, but she was already dead. So it is a huge mystery because they've never found the killer, and a lot of rumors were going around that it was the parents or the brother or whatever, someone in the family was involved. And I saw a documentary recently where there was a cop, this veteran cop, used to close, like, you know, like a typical movie kind of thing, like this veteran cop that used to close a lot of cases. He's been doing it for years. Yeah, and he had, and you say that because he actually did get divorced over the case. Like,
I close cold cases. I just open new cases.
He's closing everything.
My
and
life, no, his life, like my life are cases. I close cold cases and I open beer cases, but there will always be cases.
yeah, and the thing is, right? So he had a theory that there was another killer. There was someone who broke in because the way the house was designed, there was a window that led to the basement from the outside. And the thing is, the window opened up to a little bit of a corridor underground, and then you could go up, and there was like the garden or whatever. It's difficult to explain, but it was small. And the cops at the time believed that it was too small for someone to get through, but there was a suitcase next to the window. So this cop, this veteran cop, was convinced that someone had come in during the night through that way and was probably familiar with them, the family, and
Usually is.
and the house, and he probably wanted to kidnap her, the little girl, to get ransom. She woke up, and then he ended up killing her. And they haven't found the killer ever since.
So whereabouts does this happen? Like in the city,
States.
like suburban area,
States.
or like in?
Let me Google
States side of
quickly.
thing?
Hold on. It is. I know her name was. I think the last name was Ramsey, if I'm not mistaken.
Ramsey. I got to see this. Eh?
Right.
Yeah, I just want to quickly have a look at the comment section. Someone said, well, with regards, you can being able to 3D print a firearm makes all gun laws almost irrelevant. And then
There we go. John Bennett Ramsey.
Oh wait, I've heard that name. I just didn't hear about the story, but I have heard that name. Like, it was in the news quite a lot. Eh?
Yes. The Atlanta, Georgia,
Ah, okay. Shit.
in the basically the 90s. Yeah.
That was in the news.
Yeah, she died 96. She was. That makes no sense. See? Oh yeah. She was 6 years old.
You could reprint a 3D printer.
Yeah, but technically speaking, if you buy the really expensive 3D printers, you can technically 3D print polycarbonate.
I've had this.
So
No, I've had this discussion with Yanni. He has a 3D printer. You can print guns. It's been done. You can do two types. You can do a completely 3D printed gun. It's in it states it's illegal. I don't know about South Africa. I think it is as well. And you can only use it once. It's got one. It's a one bullet thing. You can't use it again. But you can
if the
use.
receiver is made from an alloy, you can use it over and over again.
Exactly. That's it.
Because technically speaking, a Glock is made of plastic. It's just the receiver is metal,
Right.
and the slide, but the rest is basically plastic. Look, obviously, I'm simplifying a lot, but yeah.
And I think
So,
it's.
so with all the money you got for to buy a 3D printer, you might as well go down to the local police station and just buy a gun.
No, but that's
Yeah.
illegal. You have to rent it, and then you just copy it.
Yeah, you need a license
Yeah,
first.
Oh,
And then.
I skipped the queue there. I skipped the line there.
It becomes a high school project. You copy and paste.
Look, I think that if you shoot from a 3D gun, and gosh, we're giving people ideas now, it is untraceable, as far as I understand.
Yeah, that one shot.
Depending on the projectile you're using, of course.
Yeah, and the fact if, for example, if the barrel is rifled, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, but also like the gun gets destroyed as well, so in the
You
process.
could still get tracked through the the chemical makeup if you leave fragments. I watch too much CSI.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be right about that.
I'm a little paranoid. Yeah,
Were you doing some research to find out? Like, were you...
Peter, I think Peter's one of those people that believes in the ice bullet.
Man, come on, man! Like that was my favorite Mythbusters
No,
episode.
my favorite Mythbusters is when they blew the shit out of that cement truck.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Keep
That was-
going
that was
up.
cool.
And Adam Savage walks to the wreckage, and I will never forget the scene. He walks to the wreckage. Obviously, there's not very much of the cement truck left. And he just looks and he picks up the gear and he's like, "Oh, here's your problem."
Yeah. I love it when they use that line. Yeah, the Mythbusters were awesome. Man. I can't think of my favorite episodes. Like, there's so many that I really.
Yeah, I'm
really
just sad
enjoyed.
about what was the Japanese American.
Oh yeah,
genius? He passed away a few years ago. I was very,
Yeah.
very upset because
he
he
was
was,
a young guy, right? Still a young guy.
yeah, I think early 30s.
Yeah, man.
But Adam Savage has a cool series on YouTube called
Yes.
One Day Builds.
I watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, on the Tested channel. I love that
Yeah,
thing.
he's got, for example, he builds like the ultimate Nerf gun. I'm like,
I saw that.
Ideas.
So, I love the fact that everyone's quite quiet about the fact that Prince Andrew settled out of court this week.
What?
He settled out of court.
Holy shit!
But that's not.
Yep, he
But-
settled out of court.
No, but where's the justice?
How is it possible to settle out of court?
That's
on
that's
those
just like
kinds-
buying his silence or buying. He's
Yeah,
buying his way
I'm
out of
sorry,
it.
That is the problem is someone did point it out. There was someone commented on the article that I read because one or two certain news outlets allow for comment section at the bottom. I can't remember where this piece was published.
Definitely not News 24. Hey,
No, News 24 switches off comments and opinions. If they could, they would switch off language. But a lot of people were going, but it proves he's guilty and so forth, which it does. It is an admission of guilt if you settle outside of court, in most cases, if not all. But what this person had been studying law and was a law practitioner, so without obviously defaming himself and whatnot, he just clearly stated you need to take into account the court case itself, and this is the sad reality. The court case was a civil case. It was a civil case opened against him. It wasn't the royal crown itself, because obviously the state falls under the crown. So the crown, the state, didn't charge him. It was a civil case. And settling out of court, yes, is an admission of guilt. The individual, sadly, from a monetary point of view, did find justice in damages.
Huh.
But
Okay.
because the case was settled, unless more proof comes across the table of the state itself, the case can't be opened by the state because the civil case has been settled. It's now been done. There's no
Oh wow. Okay.
so
And I feel he got away with it. I'm sorry. I feel like he's
That's
down
no, no,
bad.
no,
crazy.
no.
Like
I'm not.
for,
I'm just. I'm just. Unfortunately, I'm explaining the
Yeah, yeah,
technicalities.
yeah. I know what you.
Morally,
Yeah.
I think all of us, and I think everyone that's followed this, morally, no, he got away with it.
I think in the
He
back of
slipped.
our heads, I think we kind of knew this was something like this was kind of coming on the pike. Like who's like
The thing is,
did you ever think in
the
your
sad
generation?
reality is, if it was a state case, he would have. It was that's a tricky geweest, but it was not a state case. It was
Yeah.
unfortunately a civil case. The hope was that the civil case would become a state case, but the victim, and very much it is her choice to how she
Fair
would
enough.
want
Fair
to be
enough.
settled,
That's also true.
chose to settle
Did they
outside.
disclose the amount?
As with most countries,
No.
both parties can choose to do so, but both parties have decided not to.
I don't think it would be safe for the victim to disclose the amount.
No. The sad reality is also you do realize that if they settled out of court, it means the state paid for it because Prince Andrew is royalty. And the
Ah.
royals get most of their funds from taxes. So the sad thing is English taxpayers paid for that settlement.
Ouch.
Damn man, fish and chips. Hey, Albert.
Oh man, it's
Oh, my
look.
God.
I
It's
suspect.
crazy.
I suspect it was like life-changing money. That's what I think. It wasn't like 200K or something. They were talking like millions.
Yeah, it wasn't 10 Rand in the streetwise too. It
Yeah.
definitely was.
Imagine that.
This was life-changing money.
A castle,
sad-
maybe a title in the
The problem is
the Duke or something.
The problem is they settled out of court. Now, obviously, each person has their own struggle, but does that truly mean that the victim, firstly, is over what happened?
No.
No.
Secondly,
so.
it does not. Secondly, it does not open the avenues from a state case point of view that other victims might want to come forward.
That's true.
Because they might see it as a loss. Obviously, this is purely assumptions. I can't.
Yeah,
speak-
you're
I
speculating.
really can't speak for someone that's gone through this. But the problem is because he settled out of court. If he were to choose to do it again, he probably can now, because from a legal point of view,
All
he's a
right.
free man.
That's yeah. Well, that's a interesting. But wouldn't that be a criminal case then?
Whoa, Jason says it was 12 million pounds.
What?
So 240 million rand. Okay, but even in England, 12 million pounds is still a shitload.
250 million rand.
Yeah.
That's.
Yep.
I told you, life-changing
Pound.
money. Life-changing.
$250 million. Woo.
Yeah.
I
As
mean,
long
you
as she
could
doesn't count the
buy a hell of a
if she
fire
comes
pool
to
with
South
that bad
Africa,
boy.
she has to pay a rich man's tax, and then our state gets 40% of it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. Damn.
Oh, that's crazy. At least they stripped him of his titles. I heard. He's no longer. He's just what Albert.
No, he still
It's
has.
just
No,
Al
he
now.
still has. His,
That's the other
no,
one.
He still has his official type. He's still Prince Andrew. You can't stop being Prince Andrew. But his is it now his Royal Highness or what? Or his managed. No, Your Royal Highness. That title he's lost, and then obviously he's the Duke of who gives a fuck. So that
Imagine, imagine getting demoted from a job like that. That's, whew, you must have really fucked up.
What is up with the royal family though? Like really? Like what is going on? And also this queen that doesn't want to die. Like I think she's on strings and batteries. That's what I
No,
think.
let's be honest. Let's be honest. Queenie doesn't want to die because Prince Charles is a fuck up. That's why she's hoping to outlive her son so that the fuckery doesn't continue. If you look at Prince Andrew, you have to realize that Prince Charles is the normal one, and that's a terrifying fucking thought.
Yeah. I haven't heard from him in a long while though. That's nice.
If you take into account the worst thing Prince Charles has done was adultery. That's the worst thing he did. and he's supposed to be the good one. So I think Queenie's basically going, I will live as long until my son dies.
Yeah, but isn't she
And
like
then
100 now?
No, she's 91, 92.
Ooh.
92. I mean, she's 92 this year, I reckon. Is it?
I think so.
Oh.
I was actually more
That's
sad
old,
about Prince
man.
Philip passing away. I love Prince Philip. Prince Philip didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, a lot of people like
Yeah.
him.
When they caught him
Prince
in his
Philip was
Bentley.
a legend. Prince Philip was a legend.
Nah, man. The royal family. Nah, I don't know. I
It's a
don't know.
bizarre existence. I don't
And-
get it.
It's a
I don't
bizarre
understand.
existence.
You need to take into account that the royal family has not actually been English for almost 1,000 years, or 800 years at least.
Oh yes, this is what since Henry.
No, the Tudors, I think, if I remember correctly, were Welsh. The Stuarts were Scottish. The current royal family is German, and before that, they were basically Spanish. So the royal
French,
family,
no, French for a while. One day.
yeah, because they were French, they were actually part of France for a very long time.
Oh.
So technically speaking, the royal families we know, it hasn't actually been English for 800 years.
Interesting.
They're quintessentially English, but they fucking not.
That's just a whole nother level of fucked up. And irony.
You need to take into account this is a country which has the national animal of the lion, but there hasn't been a native lion in England for nearly 2,000 years.
Doesn't that just kind of explain everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. On
The
the other hand,
ultimate
on the other hand-
appropriators.
yeah. On the other hand, Scotland's national animal is the unicorn.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that. I'm surprised it's not the Loch Ness monster.
No, that's only on Sundays.
Nah, okay, cool. So we've spoken about 3D guns. We've spoken about the royal family. We spoke about Netflix. Spoke about a lot of things.
CPS.
Yeah, let's change gears here. And I don't know, man. Like, how's things looking on the comedy scene, Peter? Are things picking up?
Champion. They are. Oh, quite a ton of gigs are popping up all over town. A lot of sort of comedy nights. There's like 2 happening in the CBD right now. I know there's a few in the burbs. So I'm pretty excited. A lot of action happening. It hasn't been this much stand up in the city for at least 36 months. I
Yeah.
think the last time it was this kind of choco block was maybe 2018 or 2019 Arse End. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited.
I haven't really heard much though. I've seen a few. I know Pius has a few shows or whatever. I've got an open mic night coming up, which you're going to headline, and hopefully Macau will be at too. But I haven't heard much of anyone else. Have you, Peter? Have you told anyone about the open mic night that I'm running?
Yeah, I'm telling everybody, like, what, 2nd April, let's get it. There's quite a few people in the area interested, so yeah.
Awesome.
You should come through, Mikhail.
Just need to double check that weekend.
All right.
I'll try my utmost best.
We're not going
No,
to see
the
him.
reason no. The reason is we always go visit the missus' parents at the end of each month. I just need to make sure it's not on that weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, well, this is
That
the
is-
first weekend of March.
Yeah, I just need to double check whether we're going through, because we always do go through. I just want to make sure, is it that weekend we're going through or not?
Okay.
So
No
I
worries.
just need to double check.
Okay, Peter will be there. I hope he will
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there.
Has Bevan confirmed yet? I think
Not
Bevan
yet.
said he was interested.
He's gonna try. Yeah, he's gonna try. So it'll be fun. I am holding slots for you guys, but I will need confirmation on the week.
Yeah.
Sweet.
How many other comedians have you had that have confirmed so far?
I said there were 6 slots left, so 4.
Oh, all right.
That's
So that's
excluding. That's excluding you and Bevan.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
new names. I haven't really heard of, except for one.
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't heard
another
of
thing
before.
I've noticed. There's quite a few like new comedians doing it. Funny dudes, actually, funny people. Like,
Yes.
I'm excited.
Check out this Duas Peter Sawanga. Always commenting on my shit.
Who's that guy?
He's at least promoting your show. You need to give that guy some props.
Must I give him a super chat? Is that what you're gonna say?
Spread the love.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you might notice Peter's wearing a very interesting shirt there. You can get merchandise of the Say What line is on Rebel still, and you can get some other designs, very cool designs. Please go check out rebelstorestoday.com. A link is in the description, ladies and gentlemen. So please, if you like Peter's shirt,
pull
get
up.
yourself one. Yeah, look at that. I will not sit here.
I will not. This is after your shit talking, Mikhail.
I have not yet begun.
Yeah. All right. So, well, I'm glad to hear that things are picking up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't decided yet when I'll come through. I don't know, man. I don't like town anymore. I gotta be honest. I just don't. I don't like going to town.
Fair enough. Look, come down here with a purpose rather than just casually. You know, you don't want to get eaten alive. It's the den of iniquity out down here.
No, I'm actually thinking of just. I think what I'm gonna do, right, is I'll probably only let you or Bevan know, and Mikhail, but
Perfect.
Mikhail's not really gonna join. And I'll tell you, like, let me
Okay.
know. Like, I'll probably message you at some point this year, and I'll say, dude, this coming week, what gigs are there? You'll tell me
Okay.
X, Y, and Z, and then I'll say, okay, cool, come with me. I'll join for whatever one that I'm available for, and then I won't even go on the lineup. I'll silently. You mustn't tell anyone. You mustn't tell anyone. I will silently go to that gig and just appear like a dark knight from the
You're
ashes.
gonna ninja bomb in, then ninja bomb out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not even gonna go on the lineup. I'm just gonna watch. I'm not even. Yeah,
I don't. Okay, firstly, I don't like Cape Town to start off with.
but that's
As a city. So I didn't really think I'd be inclined to do a gig in Cape Town again. There are a lot of people. There are obviously a lot of people that do stand-up comedy saying, "Yeah, but it hinders your
No
progress."
bullshit.
Not the problem.
I have a new outlook on life from
Uh-oh.
gigging with a legend. And here's the thing, Mikhail. I love Somerset West. Like, Somerset West crowds are freaking awesome. But here's the other thing. When you gig for a crowd that wants to watch stand-up comedy, you can be almost any comic and you'll be fine. Almost.
Yeah,
any. Notice
no.
how I said almost any. And those are the kind of gigs I want to do. These Cape Town open mic nights are like, they're fun and they're good. People need to do them. Yes, if you're young and you need to go out, you need to get practice, you need to do all that stuff. I 100% agree with that. But I'm out of that mindset where I used to be like, oh, I have to now. Like, I have to for like
Yeah, yeah.
ever and ever and ever and ever. I have to. No, bullshit. Because there's so many great comedians that exist today, and they're not always on the scene, but they're doing corporates and they're doing other big shows, one-man shows, selling out. You don't have to do the open mic night forever. Yes, when you're starting out and early days, but I just feel I'm at that point.
At some point, right?
Yeah.
You wanna level up like Mario.
Exactly.
After that,
I don't. I've gone to the point where I don't want. If I advertise a show, it's either my show, which is an open mic night, and I'll advertise it, or I'll put more effort into a one-man show advertising. If that makes sense, instead of advertising
Nice.
a lineup or that I'm going to Cape Town Comedy Club or I'm going wherever, what other gig, I'm gonna advertise and put more effort into my show.
Yeah.
Grow me. That's where I'm at.
My thing is, okay, obviously Joe and I've now, I think it's this year we've been friends for 10 years. So obviously if
Shit.
it's you or yeah,
I need new
you're not
friends.
rid of me yet.
That's a lot of therapy, guys.
So that's why we need super chats. But so for example, if you're doing a show or Bevan is organizing something or Peter's organizing a gig, then obviously would like to perform and obviously support and help advertise. But I agree. You have to go through the whole open mic. You have
Yeah.
to if you fresh off the boat, you can't just go on and do a 15, 20
Gauntlet.
minute set.
You gotta get to the gauntlet.
You won't have the material, you won't have the experience, you won't have the polishing. And there's nothing wrong with it. We all had to start somewhere. People that want to be stand-up comedians, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And open mics are good for it. Open mics and Peter's dead. And open mics are great for that. Open mics, if you start out fresh, is also a good place to network.
Yes.
No,
No,
it's a good
absolutely.
place and it's a good place to make friends. Because there are only so many comedians, so it's nicer to know that you go to a gig, there are people that you can get along with.
And they'll help you and they'll advise you and they'll encourage you. But here's the thing, there's a lot of young comedians that are very arrogant and like think they know how things work and will, I don't want to say take advantage, but they're actually, I'm going to call it how it is, they're rude. They are really, really rude. I'm sure Peter's bumped into a few of them. These young comics, Peter, that some of them, these fresh off the block, right? That think they did one open mic and now they think they're Jimmy Carr and Trevor Noah and they can now get 15 on their next
Oh my
night
God.
and all that stuff. Like, yeah.
I'm going to have to give credit where credit is due. Overking has a comedy game that you and I still need to aspire to. I don't think he has any doings with young and up and coming snot-nosed assholes.
I wasn't talking about Elder King.
I mean, Peter. Peter walks in circles that we do not walk in. So
That's
I don't
also
think he.
No, I'm
I
not
don't
talking
think
about Peter. I'm talking about like open micers that Peter's not an open micer.
No, what I mean is you said Peter might have come across some of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arrogant ones. And I'm
24,
thinking, yeah, but
20
Peter doesn't do gigs where young, arrogant people do gigs. He does gigs in golden halls. With
Oh yeah,
maximum
I do all kinds of sophisticated gigs. You know, my first one is Joe's show. It's look, I'm above the fold. Fuck it, I've
So,
elevated my game.
Yeah, no, that's like,
Okay, wait. Here's another question though. How many of the new gigs are paying?
Oh man, not very many, to be honest, if any.
And if they are paying, is it more than 50 rand?
Okay, well, hold on. you
I'm
need
not
to
privy to the
clarify.
numbers,
Like
but-
50 rand for anyone, or is it 50 rand is the minimum for like?
You mean to walk in or as?
Yeah, I mean, like as you get money, you get
What,
money.
50 rand for the gig, or like a 50 rand?
Look, I know
for
that
a hand
I-
job in the parking
No,
lot?
no, no. I've heard there's one or two that actually pay decently.
Yeah.
There are one or two that will give 1,000 rand for the headline or whatever, which is good. I think it needs to go up because flip, that's been the rate for like what 10 years.
True.
No, that's what we
But
paid and that's what we paid at Nameless for headline. And that's
Exactly.
8 years
But
ago,
Yeah.
9 years
Yeah.
ago, 8 years.
It's going to be tough to argue that these days. I think, well, maybe because I'm not a salesman, but after the calamity we've had, these restaurants barely open. I
Yeah,
don't know.
well, I know that restaurants are finding it difficult now because of the whole regulations as well. Like, there's a certain amount, and you can't always be full house. So I understand that.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you can pay comics, because we're seeing that there are one or two gigs that can pay comics
Yeah,
a grand,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So at least that's there. And as things open up and as things hopefully get back to normal, there can be negotiations to up that rate. You know?
I know. I think everybody now understands. Like shit's has been kind of leveled out a bit now. So I think everybody understands. Kind of we kind of need to elevate for everybody. Everybody wins when
Yeah. And
paying more for your actual entertainment.
Yeah, and I think like look, the situation of South Africa doesn't help. When your unemployment rate is almost 50%, like it's there's that as well. Like I get it. There's been a crisis. I get it.
But we've
I
had
get
this for a while. I mean, this is nothing new. The whole unemployment thing has been even before this. Comedy was having a tough time even 2018, 2019, even then. it wasn't actually growing. It had plateaued, maybe sinking a little, until this shit hit. But I think we have an opportunity now to escalate, as you say. Oh.
Yeah, well, I
And
encourage anyone and everyone that's organizing gigs, like just do it and do it right. And if you can't pay, like, work towards paying comics. And if you're doing an open mic
Yeah.
night, if you're doing an open mic night, operate it as such. You know, don't
the people will
advertise.
respond.
Yeah,
The people
don't
will respond.
don't advertise it's like a premium show, and then you have open micers, and
Is
you
that?
know, yeah, like that's not. And then you have open micers hosting the show as well. Ish. Because I've told you before, man, I've met people who refuse to go to stand-up comedy shows, even though they know I'm a comedian and they want to see me. They refuse to go to some places because they had a bad experience.
Just lack of quality.
Yeah.
Or at least quality control. Oh, there's like 1,000 people on the lineup.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite shit. 20-man deep lineup. Everybody doing 5 minutes each.
20,
I-
no, 20 and 5 is okay. But it's when the host wants to do an hour on his own and still have the 20 and 5. You know, 20 and 5 is supposed to be rapid, tag, go. There's not really a host. You know, that's fine. Because then it's like an hour and a half. People can manage that. But once you start having a host that wants to do 5-10 minutes in between each act, it's like
1 hour specials.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
What is it?
I think a healthy lineup for an open micer, and everyone keeps to their time. I think it's about between 8 and 10. I think a lot of people that start out organizing gigs, and power to them. We need more
Yeah.
people that are willing to put in the effort and organize gigs. If you have it too big of a lineup, even if it's only open micers and there's 5 minutes at a time or whatnot, your normal crowd at an open mic is not the type of crowd that is at a booked show like a Barry Hilton or what we are trying to do in April with our show. People buy those type of tickets. They know, okay, I'm going to be there an hour and a half. I'm going to be 2 hours, and I've set aside this time to be there.
yeah.
When people go to an open mic gig, they don't want to be there for 2 hours. It's sad to admit, but it is. They don't want.
No.
They are going to get tired, and not tired from like, oh, I need to go to bed. It's that there's sort of like a drop in interest and picking up on good punchlines. It does start diving down here from like 10 open micers. It starts going down. So I think anything with more than 10, doesn't matter how well the open mic is. I know when Joe and I used to organize gigs, we really had open micers that did fucking brilliantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Even
room
a
is
show where
tired,
you have 6-7 open micers that are good purely by luck, or just they have the enthusiasm and the energy in the crowd catches onto it. They're still going to get tired after 10. It's just because that's not really what they wanted. They want to have 50 minutes, maybe an hour, and that's it. And then they want to continue either their evening at the place and continue socializing with people, or they want to go home.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think massive lineups are a bit heavy.
Also, like with an open mic night, I get that some comics want to advertise like, oh, come see the best comics to get people in. But if you advertise it correctly with an open mic night and create the culture that you're gonna see new guys and you might see the future successful comedian, you know, you would have started at this venue, you know, and create that culture of creativity and giving people chances and having fun with that culture. I think that will be something, a foundation that will help the gig last forever, because people will come with that expectation. I know I'm going to see newbies, and obviously you sprinkle a few good guys in there that are trying new material, and they know, okay, cool, it's becoming like a comedy hotspot, which is how Armchair has kind of become, you know. And to create that culture, one, the comics need to also support it, and number two, the people need to be sold for what it actually is, so that the people who expect to see that can tell other people, either I went to a comedy night, it was an open mic night, and there were some good comics and I wouldn't mind going again, or, you know what, I want to try it next time.
Right.
That's the culture you need to build for an open mic night.
You gotta have that bring backedness.
Yeah. And that's how I'm gonna end the show, ladies and gentlemen. We've gone overtime once again. Always going overtime with you guys.
Relax.
But thank you guys so much for watching. We had quite a good viewership tonight, so thank you guys so much for tuning in and giving the comments and engaging with us. Very old school late night chat. I like it a lot. Maybe
Yeah, this
next
is
time,
fun, man.
maybe next time
Fun.
I'll reduce the videos of TikTok. I'll just find some really good ones, like 2 or 3, and then we'll just talk cock for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, the thing is, it's nice to have a little response on the TikToks. It is, but it sometimes feels that it becomes sort of like a say what.
Yeah,
night,
yeah, yeah.
Just with,
Yeah.
where we've covered quite a few topics and we've still found ways to make fun of something and put punchlines in. So
We did our job, man, but we just didn't get any super chats tonight. But it's okay.
I
I got
got
one
you asshole.
earlier. Yeah, but that was for me, not for you guys.
during this show, so it's fine.
Okay, cool. Expropriating again. Okay, so I'm just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen.
Appropriation means we gave you a choice.
Julius would disagree with you. All right, so cool, guys. Anything you want to say in closing? Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, tickets are now available. 2nd of April. Go get them now. Link in the description.
Yeah.
Tickets only available on Quicket, and yes, it is 300 Rand a ticket. But if you book a table, you get 10% discount. You get more discount, or it's 10% discount if you book a table, and depending on the table, you get 10%. But yeah, book a table. It comes with a meal and a drink as well.
Well
an
worth it.
entry to the show. It's going to be late night chat mixed with Say What, mixed with some stand-up comments. There's a variety show as well. So come and have some fun with us. And if you can't make it, if you're in Joburg or any other parts of South Africa or the world and you're watching, you can buy tickets for online streaming, ladies and gentlemen. So
Yeah,
there's options.
Yeah, we'll be straight. It will be for those that can't make it out of Gauteng or the Free State, wherever you guys are that is in the Western Cape, and you can't make it through. It will be streamed at exactly the same time as the live show. So
Yeah.
we can't guarantee, but we are trying to figure out a way for the live streamers also still to be able to interact with us like you guys do now in the comment section. There's still a bit of technical things above most of our pay grades that we need to sort out. But we're trying to have you guys be able to interact as much as possible as the live audience as well. So it won't just purely you be sitting there watching. There will still be, hopefully, an element of you guys
Yeah.
being much more part of it than just purely watching the stream.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
the guys that can't make it, please don't worry. There is an element where you can watch and still be part of it. We just need to figure out with the company how we're going to do it, because obviously they've got the technical prowess, but that's the idea. We want the people streaming it to be almost as interactive with us as the people that are live.
Yeah.
With regards to that, book a table and you
Book
get
a
this.
table, you get 10%. Yeah, exactly. I just said, book a table, you get 10% off, man. And all you have to do is just get 4 people together. You each, like Tracy, get 3 other people, right? They pay you, right? And then you get the 10% off, right? You just book the table, you get 10% off. That's
Yeah, because we worked it out.
Nice.
If you we did some quick maths here. It works out to about almost 270 per person if you do a table.
yeah.
So the
And you
whole
get a
table
meal,
for-
and you get a drink. Like, come on, guys.
Behave, that is the idea. We are trying to figure out if we can put up a screen with a comment section. And
Behave.
obviously, we'll call out comments.
Never too
So,
far.
yeah, that's the idea. We want to be able to have the comment section also give Ober King shit about his massive forehead.
Well,
So,
you
yeah.
know what we could do, though? We could use Obi King's head as the... you know.
Hey. The
But
projector.
then we have to pay him.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Because that is more on the equipment rental. So,
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully Bevan and Obi King will join us next week. Next week, it is Say What, where comedians roast the headlines. So thank you so much once again for tuning in. Peter, thank you so much for joining me. Mikhail, thank you so much for joining me. And ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we'll see you at the next one. Cheers.
Alles loop reg, altyd reg, Toyota.
We're still live, and I'm trying to find out why.
If you're still in the comment section, don't worry, we'll leave soon.
That was weird. Hold on, let me try this again. Why is it not? Hello? What the hell is going on? Hold on.
Well, I know Peter always has the YouTube channel open on one of the other screens. Peter, are we still live on that side?
Yeah,
Well,
What does YouTube
it says
say?
it's live
yeah, you
on
we're
my
still
side.
live. We're still live.
Why is this happening?
Why are,
No.
why are you having problems with Ecamm all of a sudden? I thought this is like your food.
Hold on, let me.
It's not ESCOM behave.
Hold on.
No, if it was ISCOM, we definitely would not be live.
Exactly.
Okay. Why is this?
What do you usually do when we go offline?
I don't know. I'll have to sort this out another time, but I'm just going to do it the old school way. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in once again.
Goeienacht.